Games journalists. You know, the people who constantly make every decision based on their ego, never care about anyone else, and just blatantly lie about things. The people who constantly love to call us bad, stupid, and other bad words for absolutely no apparent reason without even knowing us or caring about us. Yeah, those people. Well, they're not having a good time currently. Who would have thought that turning on the people who guarantee your work has value because they are interested in it turns out to be a bad choice? Ah, well, I'm gonna enjoy this.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rip here. So today we're going to be looking at some more bad news for games journalists. For the average person watching this video, it's probably not too surprising to see another big round of layoffs because games journalism over the past decade plus has really devolved from providing insightful articles on gaming related news and game guides and stuff like that to endless attacks and culture war related stuff where they have turned themselves into activists more than journalists, using their position.
God, I can't wait for the next article that decides to call me a Nazi because I choose to like some kind of game and they don't like it. Oh no, how will we ever survive without these people?
To attack people they ideologically disagree with. It is definitely one of the more woke mediums out there, and that is reflected in their work, which is, again, devolved into something that doesn't even resemble games journalism whatsoever. Now, the latest group to be hit with a massive round of layoffs is, of course, Polygon. So Polygon's been around on the scene
Nice.
for a very long time now, but over the past couple of years, pretty much all they do is release hit pieces on various things they find problematic and release some of the most cringe-worthy articles you'll ever see on the internet. So here's the news.
Also, by the way, I love all of these Twitters of these companies. As you can see, 900,000 people have decided to follow Polygon, and you can bet, you can bet that average tweet gets like 3 interactions because all of these companies buy followers on every platform they have. 100%, no exception.
Cringe-worthy articles you'll ever see on the internet. So here's the news. Ironically enough, reported by Kotaku, is probably next. They say this: Polygon sold to Valnet and hit with mass layoffs. One of the biggest gaming sites around was just blown up. You can see down here, the video game website Polygon has been sold to click farm powerhouse Valnet, and much of its masthead has been laid off, Kotaku has learned. The sale was subsequently announced in a press release. Multiple staff members have posted online about losing their jobs or about colleagues now being out of work. So, as
Oh no! Listen, when I hear that people are disappointed that their colleagues are let off of work, I'm like, man, these are the people who really bought into the bullshit that your bosses are supposed to tell you about. We're all a big family here. We're supposed to help each other. You're supposed to come to work when you're sick, but, when times get rough, we're gonna, just tax you. Don't worry about it, okay? These are the people who legitimately bought into these dumb lies. That is the reason they're called NPCs, right? And it's showing. It is showing.
as you can see, they've been sold off to this Valnet, who's described as a click farm powerhouse. And you know what? Kotaku's not wrong here, even though Kotaku's pretty much guilty of the same thing. Valnet pretty much exists to grab as many of these various platforms as possible, get them under their wing, and then just produce as many articles as possible. Okay, quality doesn't matter, it's quantity. They just want to push
Well, I mean, we're talking about Polygon, right? It's not like there was quality before this, so it technically is not gonna get worse.
out as many articles as possible to collect ad revenue and basically go from there and hope it's a financial success. Now, let's see some of the reactions on Blue Sky, because where would you find the reactions to this news about games journalists other than Blue Sky? Because that's where all of them go. It's the biggest echo chamber for their kind. So you can see
Yes. I'm sorry. Why not these comments? They're funny.
Chris Planty here saying, I no longer work with Polygon. If you're hiring, please consider the many talent.
Like, look at this. Also, the profile pictures. It's of themselves. It's like we got one fucking new male, and we got the fat fucking new male. What an absolute splendid variety of genetics that we have here represented in Polygon. It seems like
Talented writers and editors now on the market. Every one of them deserves a spot on your staff. I won't be talking more about the sale because I wasn't involved. Going to hang out with my kid, taking wins where I can. Here's another one saying, by now, you've probably heard the news. Polygon has been sold to Valnet, and I, along with most of my wonderful colleagues, have been laid off. So it's very clear from the jump here that it's the majority of the employees who have been laid off as a result of this sale. And here's one more from Nicole Carpenter saying, I'll say more later, but I no longer have a job. I'm looking for work, as are...
Well, if you were hotter, you would probably have a job, okay? Let's be real.
So many of my amazing colleagues. I have lots of ideas and things I'd like to write. I'm really in shock. Now,
God, I almost want to find an article that she writes because it's probably gonna be so fucking stupid, one-dimensional, and boring.
Covered this post because of this final part right here.
You know what's really the problem with games journalism? It's not even the activism. It's not even the politics. It's not even, just being a woke leftist, okay? It's actually the fucking fact that these people have no writing talent, but they just want to fucking feel important, okay? So they just try to become writers for some kind of news outlet, and then they're like, haha, now people are gonna write my fucking random shit that I just want to talk about, okay? Dude, if you want to do that, become a YouTuber. Look at me, fucking living the life and shit. Please donate. I need bread for my family. Okay, they're not gonna get the bread. I actually want Coke, but it's fine. Okay, donate anyway. 10 out of 10. But I do have a family, and you wouldn't want anything bad to happen to them, would you? Donate. That's a joke, YouTube.
A lot of people acting very shocked that this happened to Polygon. In fact, if you just search Polygon on Blue Sky, you'll see a blob of tweets like this saying Polygon and Giant Bomb dead in the same week is just unfathomable. Polygon and Giant Bomb, people, drinks around me at Summer Games Fest from Jason.
Bro, all of the... Oh, that's Jason Schreier. I was going to say all of them fucking look the same.
Jason Schreier. How the F does this happen to Polygon? God, this industry.
No, seriously. Look at these 3 accounts and tell me. Tell me that you would not think, looking at the picture, that this is just 3 of the same person, okay? Tell me that that's not a thing. Tell me this is not literally a copy-pasted thing.
There's a lot of shock among the games journalists. They don't understand how this could have happened to Polygon. Well, to anyone who's a neutral observer of this entire thing, you're not surprised at all. I mean, the writing was on the wall. This is going to happen to pretty much every single one of these major networks out there for games journalism. They're going to get sold off, and their employees are going to be late.
Also, I'm pretty sure this is Blue Skies. So that's pretty bad that when you write in Polygon and the top search thing is like only this much interaction and views and whatnot. That's kind of bad. That means that literally no one actually uses Blue Sky. We already knew that, honestly, but this kind of just shows how actually bad it is.
Laid off in mass. It's going to happen because no one cares about games journalism anymore. And that's a shame because they did it to themselves. There's no other people they can blame other than themselves. It's been, at this point, over a decade of non-stop slop and activism.
Yeah, if you're gonna say bad things about me to my face and pretend that that's fine and I should like that, I'm gonna just not consume your product, okay? Whenever the product decides that it needs to teach me a lesson in morals, I'm gonna probably just choose to not consume that thing. I'm gonna choose to ignore it. In fact, maybe I'm gonna even choose to talk bad about it. Wow, what a crazy concept.
Instead of providing insightful articles on the related subcultures, they have gone completely mask
People are tired of this. Exactly.
off politically. They've made it clear that that's more important than actually providing some gaming news and doing their job as they're supposed to. This is not surprising at all. And Polygon is just one of many where the quality of their articles is mediocre. And it's not just mediocre, it's cringeworthy. Like, some of the headlines they do are not only very abrasive and try to make some sort of a stance on various issues that they don't really have the right to be talking about as a games journalist, but also they just make some weird articles that just make you scratch your head and say, how did they think that was a good idea? So to celebrate all of what I just said and to really show it to you, I decided to go through Polygon's website and just pick out their greatest hits, some of the classics from their website, and I just keyword searched some
Racist,
relatively
bigots,
predictable
gamers.
terms that will show up in a ridiculous article, right? This took 5 minutes to pull up all these articles. I'm sure there's a lot worse out there, but let's get into it. Starting with this one, there was one big snub in the Game Awards nominations. Dragon Age the Veilguard, a game engineered to succeed at the Game Awards, did not. So they're saying, based on their gaming knowledge, that Dragon Age the Veilguard was snubbed at the Game Awards.
A true tragedy, one might say.
Because it didn't win any of the big awards, which to anyone looking at this, it is not surprising at all that they did not succeed at the Game Awards. The only thing that was surprising is that the people working for the Game Awards, especially the journalists who control the overwhelming majority of the votes, that they didn't just go mask off and say, well, this aligns with us politically, let's make it win. But it did not, and
True, that actually was kind of a surprise that this didn't win anything, because again, it's all about the game journos. They have the most power. Well, technically, the guy who made the awards has the most power. So I think he decided, you know what, I'm gonna just not allow this to happen.
I guess this person at Polygon is surprised. This game was not engineered to succeed. The franchise was, but this game was not. It hyper-focused on the characters' identities and getting into identity politics and all of that stuff, and having a bunch of...
It was just really, really gay.
Of obnoxious messaging throughout the game, and overall just, it was a boring story. There's nothing to it. But let's look at other articles. Like,
honestly, you know what? I enjoyed the Dragon Age Veilguard arc. It was kind of fun. It was fun. Not in my top 5 even arcs that we have had, but it was a fun one.
This absolute hood classic, Disney's hottest animated animal characters ranked. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I thought...
Also, isn't she like his cousin or something?
This was a meme. I thought this was like a made-up article. That's real.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, you kind of think about, wait, is this real? You know, of course it is.
It's right on their website.
Do you honestly think people working for a games journalistic outlet are not going to be massively gay, furries, and other type of weird shit?
And they actually go through all of the animals from...
Wait, what? What? Did they run out of animals? Like, this is boring.
All of the animals from...
That's a basic dog.
Disney.
That's at least a female dog.
And
that doesn't even count, but I understand why a furry would pick this, okay? Like, that is one hell of... Okay, listen, Polygon, that's an article I actually want to see how stupid did this go through.
It's wild.
Also, again, a rat. What the fuck is it with them and rats?
This is games journalism in a nutshell. This is peak journalism.
I want to know, dude. I want to know what's number one.
Right here. Like, if you want to do this sort of stuff, you're a little weird and you want to make some sort of a list like this, nobody really can stop you. But is this really what Polygon should be doing? And also, Polygon, by the way, is very judgmental in their articles about people who enjoy Japanese-style games and stuff like that, and also enjoy playing.
Bigots, obviously. Yeah, and again, they call people just bigots like that, and then they wonder, why do we have problems?
Attractive female characters, as we'll see in a little bit. But here's another one, a game changer right here in 2017, saying, gaming's racist and sexist personalities aren't a new threat to...
Shut the fuck up. I like John Tron. You can go to hell, and you go to hell and you die.
Children. Technology changes the fears, but not the strategies, with a picture of JonTron here, so obviously making him one of the faces of this racist and sexist issue targeting children. So down here they say, in quotes, "Do you watch PewDiePie?" I asked my oldest son. He shook his head no, but then asked why I would even bring it up. Because he doesn't understand why jokes about genocide aren't funny, I explained. My son goes to a
Is that even a conversation? Okay, this is not real. Okay, these people, one, obviously they don't have children. Two, he didn't say trans son. Okay. Three, this conversation doesn't sound real. These people lie a lot in their articles, also.
German language school, and this wasn't the first time this particular topic has come up. I don't think PewDiePie is an anti-Semite as much as I think he's a rich white guy who doesn't understand that anti-Semitic humor isn't the best way to make a point. PewDiePie is thoughtless, and his wealth and built-in following insulates him from having to look at any of his beliefs very hard. I wouldn't be upset if my children were fans of his, but I would try to explain why shock humor is lazy and more likely to get you in trouble than to get a laugh. And then they move on to talking about JonTron.
In which world? Shock humor is awesome, okay, if done correctly. Most people don't give a shit, like, relax.
Which, that whole controversy with him is just insane. Basically saying that he's parroting white supremacist beliefs and stuff like that. It's just classic Polygon complaining about PewDiePie. I'll ask you, where's PewDiePie today versus
Japan.
Polygon? Well, one's living a happy married life and experiencing the first time being a father, and Polygon is Polygon. Yep, that's pretty much what's going on here. Let's look at some more classics. Wizards of the Coast is addressing racist stereotypes in Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh shit, this is a 2020 article. This was before we decided collectively, obviously, that orcs are Mexicans now. Yes, blacks. You got... I'm not sure if this is supposed to be an upgrade or a downgrade from being orcs in fantasy, but yeah, you're no longer orcs. Pat yourselves on the backside, I guess. 10 out of 10.
Changes to the Drow and Orcs and more diverse hiring. So in case you're not familiar with this controversy, I covered it many years ago, but Wizards of the Coast was pressured by a bunch of activists to change and censor some of the monsters in their IP because those people, you know,
and they're still doing it. Well, we have covered a couple of things that are currently happening with Wizards of the Coast, and everything's looking very bad for them, by the way.
Non-racist, the progressive people, they looked at these monsters and said, this reminds them of black people. Therefore,
based and true.
Wizards of the Coast is racist. Try to wrap your head around the fact that these progressive people look at monsters in a video game and their first thought is black people. Very, very strange. It's pretty much a self-admission there. But here's another one. The fascist subtext of Attack on Titan can't go overlooked.
Oh, I didn't even know this one. Wow.
Story's twist exposes the ugly side of the manga and anime. I didn't even know they jumped in on this whole Attack on Titan is promoting fascism trend that people try to do about 5-6 years ago.
I mean, isn't anime all just bad, evil, and fascist at the end of the day? Also, what's the difference between Nazi and fascist? For these people, none, okay? Who is Benito Mussolini? I don't fucking know, a guy, I guess.
But that's not too surprising given the fact that it's Polygon, of course. Here's another banger. Is this a Pulitzer Prize winner? It has to be. Understanding Ugandan knuckles in a post-Pepe the Frog world.
Yeah, that sounds like a 2018 article. God damn, boy.
Sentence will give you whiplash, dude. Yes, they actually sat down and went through this to try to compare Ugandan knuckles to Pepe the Frog.
Yeah, there was a time when... Remember, there was a time when they tried to make Pepe out to be a racist something. An icon? I don't remember what exactly, but it was pretty funny.
Frog. To understand whether or not Pepe the Frog is actually a hate symbol or, you know, acceptable or not. Let's read a little bit. So they're talking about Pepe the Frog, and of course, they say this. Pepe was co-opted and weaponized by alt-right groups, a radical movement that propagates racist, misogynistic, xenophobic, and other hateful ideologies, and used as a form of harassment towards those on the opposing side of the political spectrum, and hit mainstream recognition during one of the most tumultuous political periods. Pepe represented the total power a character meme could yield. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're talking about. When you post
Damn.
Pepe the Frog, if you're watching a Twitch stream and you're posting something or a variation of Pepe the Frog, just laugh and Knuckles thing, and there's that symbol, one that got them a lot of flack about 2 years ago.
Link is a gay icon. I don't even remember that.
Link,
but then again, I don't care about Zelda.
Is a gay icon, and Zelda fans know it. The Legend of Zelda's queer themes are more.
Oh, was this 2023 when they? Then was this like year when not only did these people, but literally everyone who's gay and anything like that, so there's this active effort that's still going on, but has kind of subsided, of gay people and everyone else to try to rewrite history that everyone in it was gay and stuff. It's still going on, but at one point there was a very active effort to rewrite everything in history as either being gay, trans, or something like that. That was a crazy one. But it didn't last long because, yeah, people dismissed that one instant.
More than just subtext. So they're just claiming that Link is gay, which is a wild and outrageous claim, and really they're just kind of projecting their own desires onto this character. That Auto 5's misogyny is a problem its creators must finally address.
This was boring.
Dated back in...
Yeah, this is 2014. Come on.
In 2014. I'm sure that went really, really so much about what...
Sexism in League of Legends. E-girls, supports, and pretty champions. Maybe, just maybe, we should stop caring so much about what women do in video games. No, we need to care more about that. What the fuck? That's an integral part of life at this point. Polygon, Skirl Girls update cleans up its Nazi-inspired imagery. Genshin Impact covers up the booties of its boy toys. That's fucking creepy. Considering every man in Genshin looks like. I mean, it's designed for one reason, and that is to appeal to Dr. Disrespect. Honestly. Anita Sarkeesian looks back at Gamergate. Well, thank God she did. How would my life be without her looking at it, Gamergate? Next, The Last of Us post-apocalyptic homophobia reveals its shallow setting. Oh, this is now. Don't care, okay? He did nothing wrong. Shut the fuck up. Next, what do we have here? Oh, yeah. This was I find it extremely difficult to believe that this is an accident, but who knows? Hard R. Oh yeah, yeah, hard R. Literally don't care. Bayonetta's second blatant over-sexualization puts a big dent in an otherwise great game. God damn it, you know, a woman can only be ugly unless these people say that they need to not be ugly. It is what it is. Man, that's a lot of fucking hilarious articles. 10 out of 10. Maybe Polygon should survive to write more of this shit. Well, if they got bought by a company that does engage in farming, I guess this is the type of stuff that are gonna right now on, you know, super big numbers. Anyway, that was Rev Says Desu. Bye!